The River Road, or more correctly, roads, that run along the east and west side of the Mississippi between Baton Rouge and New Orleans are a great place to ride. They're lightly traveled, in pretty good shape, and provide terrific scenery. Three things that pretty much make for a perfect motorcycle ride. Because they also hug the meandering river, these roads provide some wonderful twists and turns, as well as changing landscape. There's a lot of history along this roadway too. Long before the chemical plants and refineries came, agriculture was king in this area, especially sugarcane, and riverboats moved people and products up and down the river. You can learn a lot about the rich River Road history by visiting the dozens of old homes, buildings, and churches scattered alongside the river. I always like to take time to stop and explore, take a few pictures and read the signs that accompany many of the old churches and homes. While it makes for good photos, it also provides me with a connection to the past. One of the great things about riding a motorcycle is there's almost always a place to pull over and park. So take the time to stop and look. You won't regret it. There are many interesting places to explore along the east side of the river between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And one of the real gems is just south of the Sunshine Bridge in Convent. The Church of St. Michael the Archangel traces its roots all the way back to 1809, when a group of French priests were sent to the area to establish a church. Construction on the current building began in 1831, and it was completed in 1833. The total cost was just a little over $19,000.
For the Catholic community, it is very significant because it's the oldest church on the east bank of St. James Parish.
Father Frank Uter served St. Michael's for several years. He was so enchanted by the history of this beautiful church that he wrote a book about it. Uter says St. Michael's is historically and spiritually significant for several reasons, but is perhaps most notable for what is found behind the main altar. The Lourdes Grotto was added to the church in 1876. It's modeled after the famous Lady of Lourdes Grotto in France. It is one of the first Lourdes grottos in America, but Father Uter says it's unlike any other, since it is constructed of bagasse, a byproduct of the sugar industry.
All of this grotto, it's not stones, it's sugarcane residue that was put together, and then the cave where the altar is, where you go in the little cave, is actually a sugar kettle that's inverted to make like a cave, and then it's all covered with stones and rocks.
The grotto draws pilgrims from all over the world who come to pray and ask the Blessed Mother for healing and favors.
If you go through the book that shows who came, when, and where they were from, you see people from all over the place.
Another interesting and unique aspect of this beautiful old church is the pipe organ. The Henry Urban organ was purchased in 1857 and is still used in the services today. It is the oldest church organ in Louisiana.
It was built in New York, and it was shipped to New Orleans, and from New Orleans it was shipped upriver to Convent.
Along with the church, a college and girls' school was also constructed here, and that is how the town became known as Convent.
Everybody was going to the convent. They were dropping girls off at the convent. And so that's how Convent got its name.
Before leaving St. Michael's, you might want to spend some time in the cemetery. Many of the old graves here actually predate the current church building and were moved here after it was built. Some of the headstones are in French, and several notable people are buried here, including a former mayor of New Orleans. What a beautiful treasure hidden right here along the river road. You don't have to be Catholic or even deeply religious to enjoy a visit to St. Michael's. The church is an inviting place for the roadside traveler, and it's full of history and beauty that just about anyone can appreciate. Riding the Great River Road, I'm T.W. Robinson.